Good morning, my brothers and sisters. And that's a wonderful song and wonderful words to that song, because it's not our job, it's our great blessing to be each other's brother and sister, to be there for each other, to share the love, to share the light. And when we do that, that makes our load a little lighter also. So thank you for that song, and the words of that song is gorgeous. The first song, I Am the Thinker, one of my favorite songs. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but that's how it works. Thinking makes it so. Thinking makes it so. And then one more thing. Laughter is very healing. So we've had a great foundation this morning, because when I came out, everyone was just talking and was in a joyful spirit, joyful mood, and then it just unfolded. And so we set the foundation for healing. And so our topic today is the gift of healing. How many believe they have the gift of healing? Everybody raises their hand. Yay, God. Because we all have the gift of healing, the gift of love. And the first person that we could, and I think it'd be very important to exercise this gift of healing on, is ourself. As we begin to look at ourselves and allow God's love to move through us, be aware, take acknowledgement of who's creating who's thinking what thoughts, and then to begin to shift. And as we begin to shift, as we begin to heal ourselves, our world changes. It's a beautiful thing. It's an inside job. Life is a beautiful, beautiful experience. So the gift of healing, I want to read chapter 23. And I think we've heard it before, but some things you just can't hear too much of. And so this is chapter 23. Jesus is in India still. He's on his journey. He's just a young man. And so he studies with all these masters. And what he's doing is he's giving and receiving at the same time. So it's beautiful to watch it unfold. And through these stories, we can see the foundation is being set for his walk. So here we are in Benares, India. And Jesus sought to learn the Hindu art of healing and became a pupil of Udraka, greatest of Hindu healers. So Udraka, he's a friend of ours. Okay, this is what Udraka shares with Jesus. Udraka taught the uses of water, plants and earths, of heat and cold, sunshine and shade, light and dark. He said the laws of nature are the laws of health, and he who lives according to these laws is never sick. He who obeys the laws maintains an equilibrium in all his parts, and thus ensures true harmony. And harmony is health, while discord is disease. We've all heard like ease and dis-ease. As we begin to just flow in ease, we are healthy. It's when we tighten up and lock down that we create dis-ease within our body and in our experience of life. The body is a harpsichord, and when its strings are too relaxed or too tense, the instrument is out of tune and man is sick. Has anybody here ever felt uptight about anything?
A few times.
Yeah. You know, things might not be happening the way they should be according to us. And so we get uptight with it. And what happens is we're affecting ourselves, because it's not going to change what's happening on the outer. So to begin to look at maybe what's creating this uptightness within me. And we all have these experiences. And the body is a harpsichord, and when the strings are too relaxed or too tense, the instrument's out of tune, okay, and we're sick. Now everything in nature has made to meet the wants of man, so everything is found in nature. Everything's found in nature is a healing. And we start out with water and air and sunshine and light and dark, hot and cold. Simple. And we all have access to this all the time, 24/7. Here it is. Of course, the will of man is remedy supreme. And by the vigorous exercise of will, man may make sense. Make tense the cord that's too relaxed, and may relax the one that's too tense, and thus may heal himself. The will of man is supreme. And we all, I'm going to say, I'll guess, 99% of the people in here want to meditate or meditate. Because we know when we meditate, we can begin to relax those tightened strings within us and to begin to allow life to flow to us and through us. And also when we meditate, we can tighten up the strings a little bit and maybe get a clearer focus and understanding of what's happening, what's mine to do. And so the simple act of meditation isn't just to relax. It's to get clearer focus and understanding so that we can use this body as the instrument which it is. When man has reached the place where he has faith in God in nature, and in God in himself, he knows the word of power. His word is balm in every wound, for every wound, and is cure for all of life. And to begin to understand that. And we begin to take these words to heart, like Jim said, hey, read these words, and we're going to speak them with a little energy. And to begin to speak the words of truth with energy. I'm a child of God. I am a child of God. As we begin to speak these words with intention, emotion, clarity, and peace, what we can begin to understand that with our words we can command. And that's not a bad word. I didn't say control. We like to use our words to control people and situations and things. Now, when we use our words in alignment with God, we can command, and that's when we can say to the storm, be still. That's when we can say, let there be light. And then on verse 21, the virtue from the hand or breath may heal 1,000 more, but love is queen. Thought reinforced with love is God's greatest sovereign balm. So love, 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 love. And we hear this all the time, but it's not a throwaway word. It's an energy. Love is an energy. Love is the most powerful energy in our universe. And you know what? We're love. We are love. And so to begin to claim, I am love, and begin to command the energies around us, maybe the thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that we're holding in our consciousness that don't serve our ability to love, to give love, to receive love. The gift of healing. So that's a really neat chapter. And those are some really neat verses, and they're pretty basic, and they're pretty simple. And I know that if we look at the life of Jesus, his life was pretty basic and pretty simple. He revealed that the truth of life is within us. And all we have to do is tap into it, to go there first. Seek ye first the counsel of God, the Father within, who doeth the works. So about that mystical harpsichord that we are too often. Harmony is the balanced inner relationship of all parts within the whole. Harmony is the balanced inner relationship of all parts within the whole. And so all of our body, that's where we take a look at that holistic view of life. Like our body is one organism. If we stub our toe, our whole body's going to feel it. And so to begin to understand that holistic aspect of life, and then we can even look at all parts of our body consciousness, our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, our soul. So the harmonious working together of our inner parts. And when we're out of harmony, we begin to express that and experience that in our outer world. It's a pretty neat process once we know that's what's happening. Because what we can do is to get ourselves out of blame and to begin to accept life and change if we choose. As within, so without. So in these verses and in Spirit sharing with us, harmony creates health. Harmony creates health. And I can guarantee that every one of us, when we've moved into a state of harmony, we felt better and our world seems better. Because when we come into harmony, we come into the God within all of life. So it's real simple. So let's begin to, I guess I'll just seek harmony in my life. Seeking harmony can put us on the fast track. God's track is the fast track. Jesus' track is the fast track. So we get on man's path or track. And has anyone ever heard of hoops? Levels? All these outer experiences that someone says we need to do. You see? When we could just ask to experience harmony. I asked to see the harmony that's playing out before my eyes, but perhaps I can't see it because of some faulty thought or belief or pattern that I'm holding within my consciousness. The gift of healing to begin to open, ask that our spiritual eye be open to be able to see and then discern and then take action. A definition of healing that I like to use here, and we use it here a lot, is healing to replace a lower level of consciousness with a higher level of consciousness. To replace a lower level of consciousness with a higher level of consciousness. And we're not going to say a lower level of consciousness is bad. But usually, have you ever been done with something in your life? And that level of consciousness and those experiences that brought to you, you got your lesson. I got it. I'm done with that. And has anyone here let something go that they were done with? And then when we let go of something, we usually try to embrace something greater maybe, at least different, you see? Because this is how we grow. We grow through experience. So to begin to pay attention, okay, this is serving me, but when we find something that doesn't serve us anymore, that's information. And you know what usually happens? We feel uncomfortable within our consciousness. We might get uptight. We might get too loose and don't care. Do you see? So as we begin to be still and know, who I am, and then who's the creator? I'm the thinker. We create with thoughts in this dimension. So begin to replace a lower level of consciousness with a higher level of consciousness. Here's a simple one. A consciousness of a human and consciousness of divine man. See? Say human and divine. So we are human and divine. How do we choose to express who we truly are? What are we feeding? What thoughts, beliefs, and patterns are we feeding within our consciousness, our body consciousness, that begins to reflect out into our world? The law of identity is the universe showing us who we are at any given moment in time. What you see is what you get. It's the law of identity. And like when we say the world's our mirror, that's a good thing. It's reflecting back who we are. And if we feel uncomfortable, we can change. And as we begin to change our consciousness, see ourselves a little differently, see ourselves as a spiritual being, we begin to look at life and understand life from a new perspective. When we look at life and experience life from a new perspective, we change, i.e. our world changes. It's the process. Evolution in consciousness. Evolution in consciousness. Evolution's not a four-letter word. We can begin to allow ourselves the opportunity to change and grow and expand. As we lift in consciousness, we shift. And so we can look at, when we begin to change, like, how can I change? And we can look at our physical body, our physical relationship with life, and see what could be changed on a physical level. We could look at our emotional body, our emotions, and understand maybe we got to let things flow a little bit more and let go. We can look at our mental capacity and ask to see clearly. Maybe see a new perspective, a different way of seeing life, seeing myself. And then even from that spiritual level, to begin to ask to feel. I ask to feel your love, Father, because God's love is your love. It's who you are. It's who we are. So we begin to ask. Ask and you shall receive. Jesus gave a bunch of promises. They weren't just sentences to read. They're the truth. And so as we begin to follow the promises of Jesus, ask and we will be given. We will receive. To give ourselves permission to shift and change. It allows us to move into oneness. Here we go. Watch this. The present moment is our home, not the past or the future. Can anybody agree with that?
Yes, I do.
It's metaphysical. How about this? That's the truth. And how often do we get caught in the past? How often do we get lost in the future? When the present moment, the eternal now, is reality. And when we go to the past, we might be diving back into maybe some imbalanced emotions, faulty thought patterns, habits, old identities. And what we're doing is just feeding those to begin to express again. We go into the future. To begin to understand the now, the eternal now, is where we can begin to transmute the past and now create our future. And it takes awareness. It takes awareness to do this, you know. And so if we're going to begin to shift our consciousness and take a new identity, I am spirit, I'm God's son, I'm God's daughter. I'm going to take that perspective. Now when we're grounded in this consciousness, the now, we can look at past experiences with new eyes and not get caught. And when we look at the past with new eyes, the eyes of now, the eyes of spirit, we can begin to understand why we had that experience, why we created that experience. What within me created that. And then through that discernment, shift and plan our future. Clear. To erase the past. The past has had its day. Be here now. And from that moment of clarity and peace and understanding who I am, create. Now ask. That's asking it right. Jesus said, know that you are the sons and daughters of God. Ask in that consciousness. See, ask in that consciousness. That's a preface to ask and you shall receive. Ask in the consciousness that you are God's beloved son, daughter. And then as you ask, you receive. Work with that. We are worthy. We can't ask and go, I'm unworthy. We can, but we're going to get the unworthy. To begin to, pay attention. What do I really want to experience? What do I want to see? What do I want to be? So it's so important to be grounded in the now, in the new consciousness I am, my higher consciousness of who I am, my new identity, and speak, command from that level of consciousness. When we begin to lift in expanded awareness and begin to understand who we are, and if God is omnipresent in all powerful, omniscient, all these omnis, which Cindy so beautifully shared with us last week, those aren't just words, that is reality. So to begin to connect with the reality of life, you see, and God and I are one. from our heart, not from our head. God and I are one. So to begin to look for God in the present moment. God in the present moment. And that's why the song, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all children of God. So as we begin to look into the eyes, open up our heart, we begin to see that God essence within each other. That's how we lift the whole. That's how we lift the whole. When we begin to take these steps for ourselves, we begin to ask for guidance, we begin to follow our guidance, and we begin to live following that guidance. And then we can be true brother and sister, and our words can guide and help our brothers and sisters. We might see someone who is a little uptight and might just say, hey, take a breath. Take a breath. Yeah. And they'll go, thank you. Because we interrupted the sequence of race consciousness. We interrupted the sequence of the past. We interrupted the sequence of the future. Breathe. Now. It's a powerful way to heal. The gift of healing. And it's all ours to give. And as we give it to ourselves, it makes it easier to give to our brothers and sisters. And allow the love of God to grow. And to free us all from the limitations that we have created. God didn't create limitations. God created unlimited beings. God created infinity, eternity. Those don't have limitations. That's why science won't use the word eternity or infinity, because it can't be quantified in science. So to begin to lift into that spiritual essence, I am God consciousness. So as we go through life and understand that we are all brothers and sisters, this is a relationship. All of life is a relationship. Whether it's with Mother Earth, one another, spirits, the angels, the fairies, our guides and teachers, everything is in relationship. And it's all interrelated. And if we are in harmony and in balanced, that's when everything lifts. That's when we say, when one is healed, all are healed. We heal, we share, we all healed. I want to read another chapter. This is 138. This is another healing story of Jesus. This is later on in his ministry. So he's back home now, doing his walk. And this is chapter 138. And I want to read verse 18 through 22. And so Jesus is it's on Sabbath. This is a good day. He always gets in trouble. But it's on Sabbath, you know. And there's always people coming to him because they know God flows through him and transformation happens. And so, and he's talking with his disciples and everything, but we won't even go there. So here it goes. So there's a conversation, a group of people, some people that need healing. Then Jesus called the man and said, would you be free? Would you receive your sight? So this is a blind man that came up to the group. He knew Jesus could heal him. It was his intention to get healed, and he knew Jesus could do it. Jesus the Christ. The man replied, all that I have would I most freely give if I could see. All that I have, I'll give freely if I could see. Has anyone said, God, if you get me out of this, I'm going to change? You see? I know y'all don't have to. I said that. How's that? But isn't that the truth? Do you see what I'm saying? All right. So, intention to be healed. He goes to someone who can heal him and says, I would be healed. And I'll give you anything if I can get my sight back. And Jesus took saliva and a bit of clay and made a salve and put it on the blind man's eyes. He spoke the word, and then he said, go to Siloam and wash. And as you wash, say, Yehovah, this do for 7 times, and you shall see. The man was led unto Siloam. He washed his eyes and spoke the word, and instantly his eyes were opened, and he saw. You know, our illness and our disease is just a symptom of some misqualified energy within us, faulty thoughts, blocked emotions, hardened hearts, things like that. And so, you know, the guy's blind. We don't even want to know why. How's that? He's blind, intention to heal, goes to Christ. I'll give everything. Then he goes and he does what he washes his eyes 7 times, says the word 7 times, and he can see. And one thing that we know about Jesus, that he could see the soul, he could see souls, he could go through and erase the crinkles that are in our souls that are creating disruptions in our field, limitations, discord, and disease. I think if we just look at those words, go to the fountain and say this word and wash your eyes 7 times. 7 times. You know, and I think it's really cool to understand Jesus' understanding of energy and spirit and even the human body, the harpsichord. And so to begin to look at, you know, if we can, what can I do? Everything. I'll give up everything. Okay, our root chakra is our physicality. It's how we see ourselves in the world. It's the world that we're experiencing, our root chakra. Perhaps that guy had to do a little cleaning out of his root chakra to be able to connect maybe with the whole instead of just being his unique individual ego identity. And then had to clear his spleen chakra, his emotions and his ability to create. And his ability to create and his ability to allow other people to create, to see things differently than the way he saw them. And then we could clear that solar plexus chakra, the ability to achieve and manifest in the world. To understand that we are one. When one is helped, all are helped. To move into that heart chakra and to clear out the lower consciousness of selfish love, unrequited love, hurtful love. To allow that Christ love to go in to transmute into an unconditional loving heart. Loving himself unconditionally and then allowing himself to love others unconditionally. And then moving through the throat chakra to begin to speak the truth, to hear our guidance clearly, to receive clearly, and then to speak our highest truth. Our words are powerful. To begin to speak the words that uplift and free mankind rather than slay him and bury him. The power of the spoken word. Our brow chakra, our vision, open up our higher vision to see who I truly am. Maybe to get a glimpse of who I could be. See yourself in the world from a different perspective with new eyes. Because most people walk around on planet Earth blind to the reality of life. All of us. So we ask. And then our crown chakra, our purpose, our connection with our higher self, with God. You know, and to ask that be clear, ask for a strong connection. I ask to feel your love, Father. I ask to know your love, Father. I ask to be your love, Father. Ask and you shall receive. So I thought that was a really nice story about 7 times. And all the times, I got my first Aquarian Gospel in 1972. Okay. And I've read it a million times. And I never quite got that perspective of that verse, where I've read it a bunch. It's a famous story. But see, we are multidimensional, multi-level being. If we're manifesting a discord, disease, illness on the physical level, it's created on a different level, on an energy level, through one of our main focus points. And then that projects into the world and we get to experience it. So the gift of healing, healing begins with acceptance. You know, what within me is creating this or created that. So you take responsibility, you know, and then have that intention to heal. It's my intention to release this. I want some understanding so that I can let it go, get discerning to forgive, let go, and now we can create anew. Do what needs to be done. I'll give all that I have if I can have my sight. And our sight isn't just with our eyes. Our sight through our chakras, through our consciousness, through our beingness. I'll give all. And that's where discipline comes in. Am I ready to give it up? What's the alternative? Round and round we go? Or let's just fly. Hit your wagon to a star. That's the alternative. The gift of healing is a gift. And as we gift it to ourselves, we can share that gift with the world. Let's go within. And once you close your eyes once again and just breathe. And as you breathe in, ask to feel God's love. I ask to feel your love, Father. And just breathe and just take your awareness to your body and feel your whole body beginning to shift and respond to God's love. And just breathe and ask that your whole body be filled with this love. Ask that your whole body be transformed in God's love. So just breathe and feel that gentle transformation taking place now. And now ask to know God's love. I ask to know your love, Father. And as you breathe in God's love, asking to know God's love, you might be aware of something or anything in your consciousness, your body consciousness, that is keeping you from knowing God's love. And if something comes up and you're ready to let it go, let it go. Let go of the past patterns, blockages, limitations that keep us from knowing God's love. And just breathe and feel a gentle quickening and transformation going on within your heart. And now, I ask to be your love, Father. I ask to be your love. And just breathe and begin to feel your body reborn in love. New this very day. The eternal now is my reality. So just breathe and feel God's love. Know God's love. This prepares the way to be God's love. So just breathe and feel your unique vibration of love. And in your heart, say, thank you, God. And gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And gently open your eyes. I think the key, like when Jesus would work with people and heal people, he'd say, go and sin no more. Hard. Don't go back acting the way that you were acting. Isn't that a little more gentler? It's like, don't go back the way you were acting. So we're going to act anew. And it's beautiful. And the gift of healing is ours. And it's ours to share. So my 3 words, which we can take into this week, harmony creates health. Can we say that out loud? Harmony creates health. Yay, God.